Hi, everyone, and welcome to Session 3, Episode 3, our final episode of the 2021 USA TKD US Open. I'm National Coach Barbara Brand, along with the spectacular Miyako Yerick, and we are excited to get to the finals, right, Miyako?
Yeah, this is our final episode of the US Open. I feel like it's been going on for so many weeks now because we've had all of these sessions. I've enjoyed being here with you and getting to see all of the tremendous athletes. So tonight we're going to finish it out with the finals here. We're going to have, we have a bunch of divisions today.
We have a ton of exciting divisions. So let's get started.
All right, let's go. All right, we're kicking it off tonight with the male Dragon Yellow Belt Finals.
Up first, we have Ethan Hepp.
준비.
And these dragons are 6 and 7, 7 and under. They're tiny, tiny little dragon tots is what they are.
Well, they could be 5, right? Just turning 6 this year?
Yeah.
So maybe kindergarten, first grade, maybe second grade, a couple of them. Ethan's from New York. He trains with Team Pro Taekwondo with his coach, Jungjin Kim.
He has a great hairstyle.
Yeah, I admire that. I like the work up top with the gel. Yeah, he's doing a really good job pacing himself on Taega Kijang.
바로.
Ethan gets a good score, 6.97 to start us off.
시작.
He's very sharp.
He is. He has like a dramatic timing. It's like a little anticipation he builds up in the transition.
Yeah, his punches are all just a tad high. Looks like they're in line with the top of his shoulder rather than the solar plexus. So he does need to lower those a little bit, but I really like his form. I think his style is great for yellow belt.
Yeah, really good. It's really hard for young athletes to understand to punch a little bit to the center and a little bit downward in a way because their arm is attached at the shoulder. They just want to naturally throw it out at the shoulder. Right. But Ethan did a good job on that form. He got a 6.97 on Taega Kijang. Now on Taega Iljang, a little lower, 6.77. Up next, we have Ji-hoon Gun. Ji-hoon is from New Jersey. He trains with Apex Tiger Martial Arts with his coach, Gi-duk Gun.
시작.
Really reaching high on that left front kick.
Yeah, looking really good here. A little bit coming up on the transitions, but he's looking very confident in going through this very easily.
바로.
Yeah, he's a very bouncy style. 6.64, so a little bit under Ethan's heads.
시작.
So I think tonight we're going to have all of the male finals. We'll have the dragons, the tigers, the youths, and then we're also going to get our 70 plus males, and then we're going to finish out with our para athletes.
바로.
So a lot of action here tonight on the final episode of the 2021 US Open. So that's Ji-hoon Gun, and Ji-hoon got a 6.64 for Taega Kijang. And now for Iljang, nice score, big bump, 6.7. He's going to finish up with a 6.67 total score. And up next we have Jaden Long.
준비.
Jaden is also from New Jersey. training at Apex Tiger Martial Arts with his coach, Peter Gunn.
Well, he's doing a good job of keeping his heels down in transition, but we do have double pivots here and there where he moves that foot twice in the transition, but keeping the heel down and pivoting on the toes is good.
So he landed right in the middle on that one with a 6.84. So just under Ethan's score, 6.97, and above Jihoon, who had got a 6.64.
Shut.
And Ethan actually went down a little bit on the second form. So if Jaden can go up here, he could sneak into first place. It's very tight right now.
Yeah, he did.
Jaden likes building Legos and playing piano when he's free.
Shut.
When he's free.
He's free. He's pretty busy, but when he's free.
Oh, look at that. Just like you were talking about, it's to 6.97 for the second form. Oh, almost at 7. So he'll finish with the 6.905. Look at that. Jaden Long takes the division. First place, followed by Ethan He and Jihoon Gun.
All right, and here we go to the next division, the male dragon green belt final.
This is our sole competitor in the division. This is Wesley Min. Wesley's from Kim's Taekwondo Center, where he coaches with his master Soo-Young Kim.
I'm going to take a guess here and say that Wesley is the son of April Min, and we also saw his sister Bethany Min compete. She's 8. Wesley here is 6 years old. So the whole family competing in the US Open this year.
Oh, that's great. I like how he does his turns. He kind of has a little scoot and a little shuffle from side to side. That's a really fun way to get from one line to the next. It's Wesley's Min getting a 5.6. Oh, now a tough form. His highest form, for sure.
When his mom did her videos for Senior 2 division, I'm guessing mom here, I could be wrong, but when I was watching, the commands were given by, I'm guessing,
that's
Wesley. Right. So it was great that he helped her out, and maybe now she's giving commands for him.
He has a really good memory. Like, he waits, he pauses, and makes sure he doesn't move till he knows exactly what he's going to do. And that's a really good characteristic for a Poomsae athlete. 5.27. You don't want to get there and then fix your leg, right? Mm-hmm. Or put your arm out there and realize it's too high or too low. So Wesley's going to get a score of 5.435, and he's going to take the division.
Moving right along, we're going to have our male dragon blue belt final. And we have just one competitor in this division as well.
Right. This is Sean Kim from Virginia. He trains with US Tigers Taekwondo, and his coach, Dennis Kim.
He's doing a good job. Nice high front kicks here. Pretty deep front stances. So it looks like he's really trying to work on those. We just need to stay a little grounded and watch some of those hand techniques.
Right, he's really trying to push up with those kicks. We just have to make sure we have the correct foot position when we throw that front kick. So instead of having a pointed foot, you just need to flex those toes back and that heel up. Ooh, again, Sajang. Nice front stance on that. Look at that, very good.
Outside of Taekwondo, Sean likes riding his bicycle with his family on sunny days. And he also likes spending time at the beach. So he's desperately waiting for the summer. But it was pretty warm today, and he's in Virginia. So I think soon he'll be able to go out to the beach, do some beach poomsae.
Hello.
Right, beach poomsae.
Sure. 차렷. 경례.
Ooh, very thoughtful bow. Sean Kim, you got a 6.4 for the first and now look a little bit higher for the second. So Sean will finish with a 6.415. Look at that, taking the division. He gets all the points. So it's awesome. Gets all those points at the US Open. This is the male recognized Tiger Yellow Belt final. But first we have Dylan Palma from New Jersey. He trains at Apex Tiger Martial Arts with his coach, Peter Dunn.
Well, he has a pretty quick tempo here, moving through this first form. A little bit of a step there before the front kick. We want to try and get rid of that, and punches a little bit high, but he must have feel really comfortable here because he did take a more aggressive tempo than some of our even higher belts before him.
All right, you got a good score too, 6.53 for Dylan Palma.
Stop.
Nice, quick, aggressive motion on the front kick.
Dylan recently learned or worked his way into a proper split, which is an accomplishment for him, and he loves to play roadblocks with his friends.
경례.
Roadblocks, that very popular game that we've been hearing so much about, gets a 6.34. So we were talking about roadblocks in our last episode.
Right, it's the new popular game.
Right, I guess you can program it as well as play it, so gives a lot of options for the player. Up next, we have Napeahi Iwane from Hawaii. He trains at Dixon's Taekwondo with his coach, Irvin Dixon Jr.
Return.
And Napeahi gets a 5.64, so a little under Dylan Palma.
Napeahi, I don't know if you can tell by his name and the fact that he's from Hawaii, but he is bilingual in Hawaiian and English, and he attends a Hawaiian immersion school to perpetuate his language and culture. And I know there's the Kamehameha schools out there, so I wonder if that's one of the school that he's attending.
Strong finish. That was probably the strongest section of his poomsae. That final set of punching techniques. He gets a 5.57. and he'll finish with a 5.605. So Dylan Palma still in first. Up next, we have Chris Gopal.
준비.
Chris is from New Jersey, trains with the Apex Tiger Martial Arts
Stop.
team, and his coach is Guido Gunn.
So here, Chris is also doing a little bit of a
Oh.
step before those front kicks. Those could be major deductions each time because you're adding a step, but it doesn't look like judges took off too many points because he gets a big score.
Right, that is something to be really careful about. I think some athletes do that. We talked about it in the last episode to get a little momentum or a little push into their kick or just to adjust their balance. But we need to eliminate those small steps, like right there before the kick. Don't get to do that. Yeah, he's got about a 2 or 3 inch step that he's enjoying. Let's see if he does it on the back line too. Yeah, just a little bit. Got to take all those out. And then the score will pop right up.
바로.
Right.
If they're not taking it as an accuracy deduction, it's likely that it might take it off of the
네.
overall presentation of the form. Well, 6.2 for Chris Gopal. You know, the whole, because it does affect the rhythm and the timing and every other part of that. 6.42, that's a good score. So here are our standings at the end of the division. Dylan Palma in first, followed by Chris Gopal and Napeahi Iwane.
Now we're gonna go to our male Tiger blue belt final.
This is Nathan too. Nathan's from California, and he trains with KS Choi Taekwondo Center with his coach Daniel Choi and Megan Yi. This division is a little bigger, right, Miyako?
Yeah, it looks like we have 5 athletes here, so not a full pack, but a good, decent, more than half size here for this finals.
Yeah, it's a good stack. That means everybody's going to be getting a lot of points.
And this is a 12.0 tournament, so there are 120 points available to that first place winner because there are, I think it's more than 4 in the finals.
If there are 4 or more, so you can have 4 or 5 in this case, and then that winner gets those full points. So 6.6 for Nathan too. So a lot on the line here in this final.
시작!
Ooh, tough form. Take a Gyukjang. Probably their
Nice
highest
round
form.
kick. He has good foot position. So we saw some of our younger athletes maybe struggling with that foot position on the front kick, but we want to be kicking with the ball of the foot. And he's doing a good job of that here on both the front kicks and the round kicks, which is difficult.
Right, he sure is. He's really showing off that foot position.
바로! 차렷! 경례!
Well, not only does Nathan like boba tea, he loves boba tea so much. That's his fun fact.
It's great. Well, the referees are loving him here. He gets 6.66 to combine with that 6.2, so he'll finish with a 6.630. And up next, we have Jaden Lavelle. Jaden's from Hawaii, and he trains at the Oahu Taekwondo Center.
Jaden is proud that his Poomsae has improved a lot this year. He says he's feeling a lot more confident performing in front of crowds, and he's also made strides in sparring, just getting confident using a bunch of new combinations of kicks, and Taekwondo has given him a sense of who he is and how important it is to be part of a team. That's a great outlook from this young Tiger athlete here.
Right, to get the chance to do something in front of an audience at such a young age and then feel so confident about it, that's wonderful. Look at this reach on the front kick.
Really, his legs look so long with these kicks.
You go a lot longer in the front stances. There's a lot available to him there if you just get that bigger step. A few heel pivots here and there that can be taken out, but in general, the highlight there, that long reach in those kicks.
Yeah, wow.
So that's Jaden Lavelle from Oahu Taekwondo Center. Jaden got a 6.3 for his first form. And the same here. This is Carter Bay.
준비.
Carter is from Alabama. He trains with JYT
시작.
USA under his coach Singak Jung.
Long front stances here, very deliberate with his hand techniques. I think his double punches could be a little faster, more connected, but really nice stances.
A real thoughtful pace,
바로.
not rushing, giving himself plenty of time to finish. So Carter gets a 6.13. Ooh, nice speed on that round kick.
If you're watching this and wondering why he has on blue pants, they have a choice to wear this as a Poomsae uniform, or they could wear a plain white uniform, which is what most of our athletes have been wearing. As long as you check the rule book before, there's no deduction for this tournament. So he's just wearing a Poomsae uniform versus the plain white uniform.
That's Carter Bay. So he got a 5.93 on the second form, following that 6.13 for the first. So he'll finish with a 6.03. Up next, we have Dylan Lewis.
준비.
Dylan is from New York.
시작.
And Dylan trains with Team Eagles and his coach, Andrew Park.
Dylan plays soccer, and he plays the position of
바로.
defender. I don't know that much about soccer, but
Defenders, they work hard. He gets a 5.9. They got to cover a lot of territory, not let anything by him. So Dylan with a huge score, 5.9.
I feel like all these athletes, I mean,
시작.
they are competing here in Taekwondo, but they do tennis and swimming and soccer, and all of those sports have things that can help their Taekwondo. I'm sure all the running around and all the kicking motions, like having good endurance, and then those good like quads are going to help with their Poomsae, staying low in the stances and then getting nice strong kicks, hopefully.
Well, he's very agile as he moves side to side. When he kicks, sometimes his head nods a little bit forward. So that's something that he could work on right away, and probably
바로.
that would be actually a wonderful thing. So it doesn't get
Sure.
embedded
차렷.
too much as a habit, just
교대.
keeping that head nice and level. But he's very quick. And he gets a 5.77. And he'll finish with a 5.835. Lots of potential there. This is Brendan Baraka.
준비.
시작.
Brendan's from California. He trains with Team Elite USA.
Well, Brendan here in the Tiger division, just 8 years old. The Tigers are 8 and 9, and he has competed in a bunch of events. Here we have the blue belts have been doing Taekwondo for probably a couple of years at this point, and he was one of our blue belts who competed in the summer of Poomsae, where he won a gold medal.
And Brendan gets a 6.76. You know, I wondered about Dylan Lewis too. I could swear that he was at either the Grand Slam or the Summer of Poomsae. It looks so familiar how his body moves.
Right, I think it must have been the Summer of Poomsae. I don't think we had the color belts in the Grand Slam.
All right.
But I recognize him as well. So let's see here if Brendan can, ooh, nice round kick, keep a high score in the second form and get that first place again. This time, the tournament will be a major, so that'll be really important for him as he moves up higher in the ranks and starts to think about trying to make that national team.
Right, and good thing for Brendan, he has really good flexibility. He just needs to bend his knee when he chambers his kick so it doesn't just swing up. But look at that, it gets a big score. Just going up there high, he just needs to make sure he bends the knee on the way up to have a clear chamber. So he got a total 6.845, and that's a nice little gap for him. So Brendan Baraka finishing in first, followed by Nathan Tu, Jaden Lavelle, Carter Bay, and Dylan Lewis.
Now we're going to go to our male Tiger red belt final division.
준비.
Up first, we have Avian Broughton. Avian's from Missouri and trains at Jung's Taekwondo Martial Arts with his coach, Jae-ho Jung. So there are 3 athletes in this division. So in this case, because there's 3 athletes in the division, the athletes can receive a maximum of 50% of the points for the tournament. So this is a 12.0, so 120 points are available if there are 8 athletes in the final, but because there are 3, there'll be 50% of those points. So that would be 60 points available to the winner of the division. Navian's going to get a 6.03.
시작.
I think Avian has a good sense of how long his stances should be, which is not common. I feel like a lot of athletes have had shorter stances, but his front stances have a nice length. But we are seeing some heel pivots, heel pops, couple double pivots. So I think just doing some groundwork on his stances will help boost up his accuracy score.
Looks like he's done a little bit of work on his back stance. He is trying. He's making the effort to bend that back knee in the correct position and get down lower. So he's got a good start. So Avian gets a 6.1 on this form to follow his first form score of 6.03. So he'll finish with a 6.065. Up next, we have Brett Purser from Golden Eagle Taekwondo.
시작.
Golden Eagle Taekwondo is in Texas, and he trains there with his coach, Aaron
And we've seen quite a few athletes from this school competing at the US Open this year. I don't think we saw them in the summer of Poomsae or maybe in the Grand Slam. It was new to us, this tournament. So it's great to have so many of them. And being in
Hello.
Texas, they have a lot of upcoming tournaments nearby.
Right, so Brett's going to start off with a 3.5. So he has a really good idea of which direction to go in the Poomsae and a general idea of the hand techniques and kicks.
시작.
Now, next step, a little refining.
And these videos are going to be a great resource for him and some of the other athletes from the dojo, because they can watch divisions doing these forms and see, you know, some of those cadet and junior divisions, there was 40 people in a semis. So they can watch the same form over and over and over and get a better idea. But there's also going to be a lot of resources coming out that USA Taekwondo are putting together to help
차렷.
our athletes work through some of these difficult forms and pick up on little things to work on.
Right, and good. No dip here, getting another 3.5. So Brett Purser will finish with a score of 3.5. You mentioned looking at the videos. This is Gregory Brennan, and Gregory is from New York. Gregory trains at YH Park Taekwondo Academy with his coach, Alex Tercios. So you were talking about the fact that we have all these videos. You know, when we have in-person tournaments, we don't have that available to us. So everybody needs to take advantage of that now before our first in-person tournament, right? So by the time you get there, you will have learned so much from watching all of these different athletes approach the Poomsae in maybe a different way than you're approaching it. Say, oh, now I get what they mean about my heel popping up. 5.73 for Gregory Brennan. So have you been doing that, Miyako, watching the videos in addition to commentating?
I do. I go back and watch them, and I'll rewatch divisions, especially my division, but I'll watch other ones to see what some of the top athletes are doing and different styles. How do they approach power? How are they doing transitions? I think there's just so much to learn. And then, of course, recording myself over and over, rewatch yourself and see if you can start to clean out some of those things that you watched maybe in this tournament.
Right. Just because we may not have another, tournament online per se, because we're going to be shifting to in-person Grand Prix series, we can still study ourselves on recording, right? Gets a 5.94. So that's usually a part of many of black belt athletes, where we will watch ourselves, on a regular basis doing the video. Greg finishes with a 5.835. So Avian Broughton's going to take the division, followed by Gregory Brennan and Brett Purser.
Now we're going to finish out our Tiger division here with the male black belt finals.
준비. 시작.
Up first, we have Nicholas Tushalov. Nicholas is from Kansas, and he trains there at Zhang's Martial Arts.
We have another division here with 5 athletes, it looks like, so they will be getting full points for this finals.
바로.
Nick starts us off with a 6.47.
시작.
So 2 fun forms here. They get to do Ojang followed by Chiljang. Ojang, we get to see those side kicks out at the side angle. And now 7, all these complex hand techniques we've mentioned in previous episodes. But these are black belts, so they should have had these forms for a few years. They should feel pretty confident as Nicholas is moving through at a good tempo.
Seems like most of the athletes feel pretty comfortable with this form, Taegu Chojang around junior level.
차렷.
Maybe some cadets, but there's still a lot to work through for these young athletes. He gets a 6.66. And Nicholas will finish with a 6.565. This is Evan Kai. Evan is from New York, and he trains at East Taekwondo with his coach, Chen Chao Liu.
Evan, of course, loves Taekwondo, but he also likes drawing and learning languages. And of course, he says lots and lots of video games for boy for sure.
What was the last part?
Says, of course, lots of video games. Oh boy, for sure.
Oh boy, for sure. All right. He gets a 7.0. That's a good score. You know, when he was doing that side kick, he was like looking up at the ceiling like he was just shooting for the moon.
준비.
Well, I think he should be in the category for best male hair for Poomsae.
Yeah, it's very sharp. Very, very sharp. And so are those hand techniques. Isn't that nice? Quick.
Nice shoulder turn on those scissor blocks. Well, I think he might be the first athlete today to get a 7. Is that right?
Yes. We had another athlete pretty close with a 6.93.
차렷. 켈리.
Let's see if he can get a 7 for Taegu Chojang.
Oh, look at that. 7.14. Wow. Pair of 7s. That's pretty good. He'll finish with a 7.070.
준비.
Up next, we have Lucas Verhadi.
시작.
Oh, you're talking about hair?
Well, we got two candidates for best
wow.
male hair right here back to back.
Wow. I am writing these guys down on the list for the Poomsae Awards. Super cool.
Lucas also plays competitive soccer. He plays the position of forward and goalie for David Villa's prestigious DV7 Academy Under-9 Queens soccer team.
That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Lucas gets a 5.87 for his first form.
Oh, this is Lucas, Coach Brand, which maybe you'll recognize him. I was like, why does he look so familiar? It's because in one of the Chopping It Up episodes at 2019 Nationals,
Right.
Lucas portrayed the young Jason Poos. I don't know if he had this hairstyle then. I'd love to see this hairstyle on the current Jason Poos.
Yeah, me too. We'll have to give him a call or send him this video. I am mesmerized by that hairstyle. So, right, so I put him down as
차렷.
nominees,
연애.
both Lucas and Evan Kai, for that prestigious Poomsae Award. Of course, those awards will be given later in the year. We have, I think right now, 5 categories. 5.605 for Lucas Ferrari. This is Caden Ha. Caden's from Connecticut and trains at World Champion Taekwondo.
He's doing a good job with the heights on those techniques coming forward. We've talked a lot about how the back fist needs to be at the philtrum height. middle block at the shoulder height, and then making sure that they're all center aligned. Man, that USA on his back is like his entire back.
It's huge. It's a good finish for Kaden Ha.
Ooh, big score here.
Yeah, big score, 6.8, so just under Evan Kai. Let's see if he can boost himself up a little bit. So Evan got a 7.14 for the second form. So Kaden's really going to have to do some magic here. Nice low Poomsae. Look at that. Wow. And the back stance as well.
Yeah, he's really bending low in these stances, but is losing it a little bit in the transition. So we got to stay low the whole time.
Wow, nice performance from Kaden Ha from Connecticut. And he gets a 6.3. So Kaden will finish with a 6.55, and I believe now into second place. Our final competitor is Adam Setyawan.
시작.
Adam's from Texas, and he trains with Master Lee's world champion Taekwondo and his coach Hyun Hoon Lee.
Well, Adam was born on September 4th, which just happens to be International Taekwondo Day. So he says you could basically say he was fated to love Taekwondo.
That's perfect.
Nice side kicks.
Right.
Battle.
Nice living room space here, maybe. Nice open.
Right. I was wondering though, 6.73 for Adam's first form. He's cutting his stances a little short. And I wonder if he's doing that on purpose to stay within the confines of that area of rug space.
시작.
I'm hoping he'll reach out a little bit more on this form. Nice high kicks.
Because of the pandemic, Adam is homeschooled this year, and he misses his friends from school, but he says that it's given him a lot of flexibility in his schedule to work on a lot of other passions, including Taekwondo, but also soccer. I see. So yeah, that stance just a little short here to try and stay on the
Right.
rug. Yeah, he could definitely lengthen out those stances, but I think highlight is his tempo and how clean his finishes are for this division.
And his kicking
Battle.
technique. His kicking technique's probably the biggest plus at this point. He's doing a really good job. So Adam got a 6.73 on the first form, and now a little lower, 6.7 for the second. So he'll finish with a 6.715. And here are our standings at the end of the division. Evan Kai in first seven of the day, followed by Adam Setyawan, Nicholas Tushilov, Kaden Ha, and Lucas Verhadi.
All right, now we're going to move to our youth division, starting off with our male yellow belt finals.
준비.
Up first, we have Minjun Kim.
시작.
Minjun Kim, this is the sole competitor in this division. He's from Illinois, trains with Tiger Taekwondo. Coached there by Bohyun Kim.
Well, he looks very tall here. Nice long legs and very clean Poomsae overall.
바로.
Wow, look at that, 7.06 for the yellow belt. That's a great score.
시작.
So we've moved now to the youth division finals, and we're going to go through all the color belts here up to the black belts for the male athletes. The youths are 10 or 11 years old this year, so they might still be 9, but they're turning 10 by December 31st.
Well, Minjun has unusually strong technique for a yellow belt. Makes me wonder if he has some past training experience. He gets a 7.27 for his second form.
That's a great score for a yellow belt.
And he'll finish with a 7.165 in first place in that division. So he'll get 50% of the points for the event. So he'll have 60 new points.
Now moving up to our green belt finals for the male youth division.
Right, we have 3 athletes in this division. First one is Mason Koch. He's from Illinois, trains at iTiger Taekwondo with Coach Boyoung Kim.
Mason is already at just a green belt, an instructor for the younger kids classes, and this is his second year of competitive Taekwondo. And not only is he taking Taekwondo, but he's also studying the Korean language in school and in his Taekwondo classes.
That's great. He gets a 6.33. I have a student that did that and then ultimately left the US to go live in Korea for a few years. So that's great that he's interested so young.
And that he has access to that language at school. I think my school only had like Spanish, maybe French as language options, but I know there are schools that sometimes have Japanese or Korean, so that's really cool to have that as an option. Nice high front kicks.
He's got nice hamstring flexibility. He needs to work on the front kick foot position, but he can definitely get that leg up there.
쉬어. 차렷. 견해.
So Mason got a 6.33 for the first form, now a 6.83, so nice, much higher score here. So he'll finish with a 6.58. Next up, we have Siddharth Sri Krishna from Illinois. He trains at CW Taekwondo in Chicago. So do I need to correct that, Miyako? The school name I have here listed CW Taekwondo in Chicago.
Oh, well, let's
6.64. Let's take a look. So my record says his coach is Sheik Lee.
I do see that, but I see that he's at White Tiger Martial Arts, which we can see there in the backdrop.
All right. I don't know if they're
He
affiliated.
might train at, a couple schools.
Yeah.
There's some nice power in the punches, but they are going a little bit low. Ooh, front kicks.
Right. Very nice. Ooh, and a chamber too. It's nice when they don't just swing up, like they have a full chamber. So that looks good. Interesting bow. So Siddharth got a 6.64. Look at this, 7.1 for the second form.
Yeah, judges really like that second one.
So he's going to finish with a 6.87 and now into first place. This is
준비.
Jacob Gonzalez. Jacob trains
시작.
in California at the Daehan Martial Arts Center with his coach, Christina Tam.
He is really pushing the length on the front stances.
Yeah, we love that, right?
Yeah.
Good height on the front kick. It's a little bit late on the hand technique. He takes a step, then he finishes the hand technique, but that's easy to fix.
바로.
So Jacob starts off with a 6.66. Now that's the highest score for that first Poomsae.
시작.
Well, in addition to Taekwondo, Jake also enjoys playing baseball and soccer and says that he was inspired to begin Taekwondo because his dad shares his passion for martial arts and has a black belt in karate.
Oh, look at his front kicks. Very nice, especially the right one.
Yeah, he does tend to bend his front knee a little bit in walking stance, so those need to be both locked
쇼.
legs. But
셋.
other than that, I really
경례.
like the length and depth that he's trying to push on those front stances.
He gets a nice score, 6.74. I think that'll put him in second here with his total score 6.67. So let's take a look at the standings in this male youth green belt division with Siddharth Sri Krishna in first, taking it, followed by Jacob Gonzalez and Mason Koch.
Now we have the male youth blue belt finals, and this division is a little bit longer here.
Up first, we have Jochin Samaya Mantri from Illinois, trains at White Tiger Martial Arts under his coach, Sheik Lee.
Nice high front kicks and working to try and stack the weight on the back stances. That's a difficult thing to do as a blue belt still working through these forms, but he's doing a good job, especially locking out the punches, getting a nice reach there.
And Jotun's first score is 6.43.
And Joan has been doing Taekwondo since he was 5 years old. So now at 10, that's half of his life already. And he also participates in open chess competitions where he's ranked as a U700. And he also likes practicing on his athletic skills, but really focuses on his academics and tries to balance both of them very well. He's an advanced math student at his school and has won a governor's award.
Governor's award. I'm not familiar with that. Do you know what a governor's award is, Miyako?
Well, he won the governor's award with first place in the Korean Scientific Engineers Association state level math competition. Thank you for asking.
Wow. That's fantastic. So Joan got a 6.43 and now a 6.13. And he'll finish with a 6.28. Of course, he already knew that because he was calculating that as soon as that score went up. This is Ryan Griarte. And Ryan is from California. He trains at Quest Taekwondo with his coach, Bobby Vargas and Walter Dean Vargas.
Right. And unfortunately, Ryan didn't submit his first form. So we're going to take this score here on the first one. But we do get to see his second form here. So that's great.
Good reach on the front kicks. Just needs to make sure he pulls those toes back, pulls the heel up on that front kick so it doesn't look like he's kicking with a pointed foot. Nice
able to get,
retraction.
yeah, good height on the round kick without moving his body too much. Sometimes we have to dip, but he's able to get up to the top of his head without moving his torso.
바로
And Ryan's going to get a 6.26, and that's a good score. Now, unfortunately, because we didn't have the first video, his total is going to be lower than we would have hoped. But good job to Ryan Griarte. This is Austin Dyer. Austin trains in Texas at World Champion Taekwondo with his coach Nanyol Chu.
Well, he's very deliberate with his motions, has a good re-chamber after the kick. Could work on lengthening out some of these stances.
Yeah, especially the front stance and the back stance. It's a 6.47. Because he's giving himself plenty enough time to do it, right? He's not rushing. And like you said, he's very intentional about how he's moving. So he just needs to go out just a little bit more. Back stance actually a little on the longer side here. But the front stance, again, still a little on the shorter side. Almost looks like a walking stance sometimes, or a bent walking stance.
Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple athletes now on this form going into that 5 count, do a heel pivot into it. So we do want to make sure that we're being very careful with all of our transitions and pivoting on the ball of the foot. No pre-steps here going backwards. Very easy to do.
So Austin got a 6.47 for the first form, and now it's 6.06 for the second. So Austin will finish with a 6.265. So that's just under Jotun Samaya Manchu. So this is getting interesting. This is Romeo Lobadesis the third. Romeo's from California. He trains at Quest Taekwondo with his coach, Robert Vargas.
Well, Romeo submitted a book of fun facts, and I unfortunately didn't have enough time to read it by the time we got to him. But the first thing that popped out as my favorite thing is that he loves cooking, pancakes, ramen noodles, and frying Spam. He says, actually, I love eating Spam, especially on breakfast together with rice and eggs.
Wow. 6.23. I've never tried that.
Oh, you've never been to Hawaii? That's a very common breakfast.
been
It's
to Hawaii.
delicious.
I've been to Hawaii,
You
but
gotta get some Spam musubi. Oh, so good.
I think I was eating some papaya instead of the Spam. So you said he sent in a book. What do you mean by that?
There are lines and lines of things here that he loves to do. His family travels to Lake Tahoe or Colorado or Utah on vacation, and they like to ski. He does sports year round. He wants to become a computer scientist or a math teacher.
Wow.
He loves solving math problems and wants to learn more about computers, but says sometimes he gets in trouble at home because he spends too much time playing computer games while he still has work to do.
Well, I think that's a big club. That club is full. 6.13 for Romeo's second Poomsae. To follow that, 6.23. So he'll finish with a 6.18. This is Kai Izumoto from Hawaii. He trains at the Oahu Taekwondo Center with his coach, Brian McCutcheon.
Wow.
Look at that. It's
Wow.
very, very determined. Look at that. Wow.
And he held those side kicks at the top, like, bam.
His front kicks way up there as well. Oh, he really wants this.
Well, this is exciting. So our highest score so far, and it's very tight, is a 6.28.
Ooh, look at that, 6.56. Kai.
Here we go.
시작.
He's really focusing on his speed and power as he learns how to develop that by, having some contrast in the movement. He's going to be fantastic.
He is looking like to the ground when he does those round kicks. Doesn't do it on the front kicks, but we do want to be careful if he's just thinking about the next move on those round kicks, but you want to look up at the kick when he's doing those.
So Kai got a good score on the first one, actually the highest score, right, a 6.56.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's 6.36. And he'll finish with a 6.46. So let's take a look at the standings now. Kai Izumoto now in first place, finishing up there with Jotun Samayamatri in second, Austin Dyer in third.
All right, we're gonna go now to our male youth red belt finals.
This is Rohan Nair. I believe we remember him from the summer of Poomsae. Rohan's from Illinois, trains at White Tiger Martial Arts with his coach Sheik Lee. Little leaning forward on some of those front stands, got to put his weight back a little bit more. Really trying to go high on the side kicks.
So I think we have 7 athletes here in this finals. We'll get to see everybody doing those side kicks for Sajong coming towards the camera. A lot of athletes are going to pike a little bit, so let's see if any of them can keep a nice straight alignment.
Rohan starts off the division with a 6.46.
Lots of power on these hand techniques, a little bit of kind of reverberation at the end. So you just have to make sure when you hit that hand technique, it finishes and sticks there rather than kind of shaking at the end. Sometimes you can feel like it's really strong if you have that shake, but it just looks a little bit not quite clean finish. Oh, and I think I miscounted. We just have 6 athletes here in the finals.
Right. Still full points available to the winner, all 120 points. So Rohan got a 6.46 for the first form and now a little bit higher, 6.5 for the second. So he'll finish with a 6.48. Up next, we have Isaac Mim. Isaac is from Texas.
시작.
He trains at World Champion Taekwondo Center with his coach Elva Adams.
Well, they're all working on trying to stack the weight on the back stances, which is really good. We did get a step before one of the side kicks, and we got to work on that foot position on the front kick as well.
Right, a little step in between the two side kicks. So got to make sure we just go from one to the other. Isaac gets a 6.13.
시작.
Standing a little bit high, I think. Those should have been front stances, looked like walking stances, and we're getting some steps again here before the side kicks.
Right, but actually pretty good side kicks.
Yeah.
These are probably the strongest part of his Poomsae. He's got some work to do on his transitions, right? Heels spinning to make the pivot and some heels going up from side to side, but really good side kick position. So he gets a 5.34 on that form. So Isaac will finish with a 5.735.
준비.
Up next, we have Abhinav Prem Anand.
시작.
Abhinav's from Ohio. He trains with Polaris Taekwondo. And his coach, Doug Baker. Now, have we, Miyako? I have not seen this club.
I feel like I remember all those posters in the back. That's fun.
Right. I wonder if that was Summer Poomsae.
Well, he isn't new to competition. Abhinav has competed in a bunch of tournaments, including WTA tournaments. He's done Poomsae and weapons forms, freestyle forms, and he's even participated in 3 international Taekwondo tournaments.
And Abhinav's going to get a 6.0 to start off.
시작.
Well, he has some good power in these hand techniques. We just have to be careful that they're hitting at the right finishing place.
Wow, those were the 2 biggest front stance that he's done, actually 3 in a row now. Earlier, they were a little on the short side, but now they seem to be getting a little bigger as he's going through this form. Interesting. Oh, nice left side.
Yeah. And the last front kick here over his head. So his front kick height, front stance length here in the second form, doing a better job. Just got to work on some of those. Cleaning up the accuracy details will help his score go up.
Abhinav gets a 5.3 on the second form. And he'll finish with a 5.65. Up next, we have Yuban Moon.
준비.
Yuban's from Virginia.
시작.
And he trains with Kim In Kyung Taekwondo Academy.
Yuban has performed as the youngest member on his demonstration team for various community events. And he's just 10, so he's the youngest one.
바로.
And he starts off with a 5.67.
시작.
Yuban is also a competitive soccer player, and he is very knowledgeable on World War II facts.
Wow, that's great. Wonder if he watches a History Channel or if he's reading books or how he's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to come up with some World War II questions.
Yeah, we have some follow-ups.
I think for some of the athletes in these divisions with the side kicks, you've mentioned this, we just have to make sure to re-chamber after the kick. Otherwise, it can start to look like a stretch or a swing, and we just got to chamber, extend, re-chamber, and then go into the next stance.
Right, and Yuban gets a 4.97. And he'll finish with a 5.32, so just under Abhinav. Up next, we have Cameron Lauren. Cameron's from Texas and trains at the World Taekwondo Center with his coach, Alva Adams.
Well, Cameron won first place at the Summer of Poomsae in the Tiger division. Now he has aged up into the youth division. So we'll see if he can medal here and maybe even take first place again.
Yeah, I remember Cameron. He had a lot of power in the Summer of Poomsae. He gets a 6.56. It's a big score. Highest score so far in the division.
Right, so we opened up with Rohan, who was pretty consistent in his scores. He actually got slightly higher on the second one. Everybody else has had quite a significant drop on the second form. So if Cameron can stay at the same point or go higher, then he can try and compete with Rohan here for first place. Cameron also takes hip hop classes and is currently learning how to code computers as a hobby at home with his dad. All right, the moment of truth.
Right. So Cameron had a 6.56 to start off. And now a 6.16, so pretty big size drop. So he'll finish with a 6.36. So that's under Rohan's score. But real great position for second. This is Jiachen Nan, and Jiachen comes from California. He trains here in California with his coach, Robert Vargas.
Kicking a little bit behind him, but good control on the side kick. Just got to work on that alignment.
And Jiachen gets a 6.2. So that's the third highest score. So that's a pretty good score in this division.
Yeah, that's right. This Ojong is proving to be a challenge for a lot of athletes after Sajong.
He's got a good start. He's at least able to show that he's going higher with the back fist. Not always on target, but it is higher than that middle block.
Constance is a little bit short, but very deliberate. Working on, doing it at his tempo. I think as he gets more comfortable, we can work on speeding it up, going a little bit lower, but not too much of a drop here.
Yeah, he had a good finish on the end there. So that may have helped his score. So 6.2, then 6.0, so he'll finish with a 6.1. That looks a lot like third. So let's see, we have Rohan Nair in first, followed by Cameron Lauren, Jiachen Nan, Isaac Mims, Avinav Prem Nan, and Yuban Moon.
We're going to finish out our youth divisions here with our male black belt finals.
Up first, we have Jaden Kim from Kim's K Taekwondo in Georgia.
Actually, I feel like we haven't gotten too much Paljong recently, so this is exciting.
Right.
Nice high front kicks.
And Jaden starts us off with a 7.03.
Really great reach on the round kicks. So this is a great example here, right? With this yukjang, we had athletes earlier in this episode doing yukjang, struggling a little bit with some of the transitions and how to do some weight shift. So I think this is a great division now to watch our youth male black belts on how they do it.
Right, and Jaden gets a 7.03 on his second form. So he's going to finish with the same 7.03. Up next, we have Choi Win from California.
Troy trains with Team M's community Poomsae program and is coached by coaches An Hui Long and coaches Alvin and Albert.
And Troy gets a 6.97.
Well, so this is exciting because this is the only division for this whole session that started in the prelims. All the other divisions either were in the semis or finals. So these guys have had to record and submit all 6 forms, 3 rounds of Poomsae, and now here are the top 8 made it to the finals.
Yeah, nice big group. So the winner here is going to be getting 120 points. Whoever comes in second is going to get 90. And the third place finisher, 68. So Troy's going to get a 6.97. So he'll finish with a 6.97. Of course, this is Jake Ha. Jake is from Connecticut. He trains at World Champion Taekwondo Fairfield with his coach Gunsu Kim.
So were both of the scores for Jaden Kim a 7.03 and then both scores for Troy Win a 6.97?
Right, yeah.
Very interesting here. Let's see if Jake can break that trend. I think we got to see Jake's younger brother compete just earlier in this episode. So nice
Right.
to have both brothers
Kaden Ha.
here.
Yeah, Kaden did a really good job coming in third, I think, in his division. And Jake starts us off with a 7.1, so the highest score so far in the division. Oh, nice reach.
He has a really strong click in some of those front stance transitions, really locking out the back leg. but he could also stand to lengthen his front stances just a little bit.
Right, so Jake got a 7-1. Let's see if it follows a pattern. Getting a, nope, a little bit higher for him. Good, okay, 7.24. So Jake Cobb will finish with a 7.17. Up next, we have Jace Yee.
준비.
Jace is from Virginia and trains with the Ichthus Taekwondo team under his coach,
Zip.
Shuntae Kim.
Well, his pants are very dark. Those are supposed to be a light blue.
Maybe just
Maybe
a light.
it's just my screen.
Right.
And because this was a full division, we started the prelims and the semis, the finals is going to be reverse order from the semis. So we expect these scores to go slightly up as we go through, and our highest scored athlete in the semis will be going last.
Right, Jace gets a 7.0, although, you know, sometimes we expect the scores to go up, but sometimes that's not the case at all. Sometimes we see somebody coming from behind and taking it, and it's just really exciting to see how it all falls into place.
Right, we've seen a couple of times people have gone from 6th all the way up to 1st place. Maybe they just didn't have a good semis run. There are also different judges in the finals than there were in the semis, most likely. So you never know what's going to happen, and that's what makes the finals so exciting.
Oh, big reach on that round kick.
And on the front kick, almost at his face there.
And quick.
바로.
So that's JC from Virginia. He got a 7.0 for his first form.
경례.
And now look at that, 7.3. So the highest score so far. So JC will finish with a 7.15.
Ooh, so tight there, 1 and 2 now.
Right. This is David Gill. David is from Virginia also and trains with US Tigers Taekwondo under his coach, Dennis Kim. Right, so we have Jake Hall with a 7.17 and JC now with a 7.15, right?
Mm-hmm.
So close.
David enjoys fishing, camping, and playing video games when he's not doing Taekwondo. I do feel like his power and his hand techniques is a little bit inconsistent. His punches are just super strong, but some of these push block techniques aren't getting as much power. So we just want to make sure like the single knife hand here is as strong as the finishing punch.
Right, finishing at the shoulder height rather than a little bit lower than that. Look at that, big score, same as Jacob Haas, 7.1. Oh, actually 7.17 is a little bit higher.
It is a little higher.
Yeah.
That's Jake's combined score.
Right.
But most athletes, well, the first two got the same score, but the last two athletes have been able to boost up on the second one. Yukjong maybe not quite as technically difficult as Paljong. Lots of moves you don't really have, like the round kicks, but should give them a good chance to show off their height if they're nice and flexible. Just like that. He said,
Right.
Look at my round kick.
Very nice.
Slight hunch in the shoulders on those front kicks. We want to make sure we keep the shoulders down, back nice and tall. But good power here in the punches, good reach on the kicks. Let's see if he can boost up higher on his
Yeah, he had the
second
highest score so far on the first one with the 7.17. And now 7.06.
Just a tad lower there. So this is going to be
Right, 7.115. So that second one dropped down significantly now into third place. So this is Kobe Fung. Kobe is from California, trains with Doangale USA with his coach Sungjae Lee and Rosalind Lee. So that's what we were talking about. Sometimes things switch around in the finals. You never know what's going to happen. Nice stance work here by Kobe Fung.
right. And Kobe won the Grand Slam that we had last year. In this round in the finals, he's coming in third place from the semi. So let's see if he can boost up here.
Looks real strong. I'll expect a high score from Kobe here.
바로
Look at that, 7.3, highest score so far, but tied there with Jace Yee's second Poomsae, right? Jace getting the 7.3 on the second form.
Right. So we don't really have a trend here in scoring. Some athletes the same, some going up, one going down. So it's really just who can be consistent. And that is one thing that these athletes in the youth division, they're still 10, 11 years old, but once they age into that cadet division and can get a spot on the national team to try and go to the world championships, consistency on the pathways will be the most important thing to try and make that team score.
Right, that's a decided difference from USAT, not leaving it up to team trials for the most part, saying, let's see how you perform over the entire year in multiple events.
바로
That looked really strong. Kobe got a 7.3 for the first form.
차렷 경례
Let's see how he does here. 7.36, even better. So Kobe Fung with the big 7.33 and now into first place with 2 athletes to go. So here we are, Kobe Fung in first, followed by Jae Ka, Jace Yee, David Gill, Jaden Kim, and Choi Huynh. Next up, we have Jaden Young from California.
시작.
I remember Jaden immediately from the semifinals because of the shake in his hair,
Right.
his hand technique powers. It's a little bit much, but he's really just trying to push as much power as he can.
Right, Jaden trains with Just Taekwondo with his coach Justin Wayne.
A nice
Yeah, there it
stable
was.
front knee.
Signature head turn. You might need to turn that down a little bit so it doesn't distract the referees.
Ooh,
I
nice
get
front
why
kick.
he's doing it, because he's got a quick turn there.
Well, it worked for him in the semis. Let's see how it does for him here in the finals.
So Jaden, good score, 7.2, and very close to that 7.3 of Kobe Fung and Jace's second score of 7.3.
준비. 시작.
Oh, nice kick.
Yeah, his kicks are a really nice highlight. Nice push through on these punches.
Right, a nice core delivering that punch. Using the strength from the center of his body, not just relying on his limbs.
We could have been a little bit closer. He's a little small in the screen. I feel like his power might actually look even more if we had been closer to him.
Right, he could have probably moved up at least
Hold
two,
on.
maybe 2 mats would have worked for him.
Yeah.
차렷. 경례.
It's Jaden Young. Oh my, 7.54.
Man.
Referees love that. So he is now a skosh above Kobe Fung, the 7.37. Kobe haven't gotten that 7.33, so close. This is Aiden Jacob Dekalongan. Sorry about that. And this is a distance, right? This is a really good distance for him to be so he can see all of his power.
Right. I was just going to say, I remember he did choreo in this space. Remember, and that side kick was right on the wall, but he made it fit and he just takes up the screen. He looks nice and big and strong, just helps us see everything. Of course, with the in-person tournaments coming up, the Grand Prix, oh man, he kicked his face. How does he not like have a black eye from that knee? Cool. So we have the Grand Prix series coming up, and that's going to be in person. So we won't have to worry too much about recording unless anything else is announced, but it does help us a lot to clean up our Poomsae. So we do recommend, like, you know, keep doing it, but maybe not for video submission tournaments.
Wow, look at this huge score, 7.74 for Aiden.
Well, this is exciting here. This is the biggest score by a bit on the first form.
Got that Connie Lee front kick style.
Yeah.
Really going up to the face, almost smashing his cheek in the process.
Wow,
Looking
his
really
kicks
good.
are great.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually his first year competing as a black belt. And he represented Team USA at the 2020 official Pan Am Poomsae Championships, where he won gold there.
Looking very good here. You know, this division, we have two Jadens, a Jake and a Jace. And Aiden's middle name is Jacob as well.
And an Aiden. Aiden, Jaden, Jake, Jace.
Oh, wow. Look at that. 7.63.
Wow. Clear winner here.
Right. Big gap for Aiden Jacob Dekalongan, the 7.55. So him taking first, followed by Jaden Young, Kobe Fung, Jay Ka, JC, David Gill, Jaden Kim, and Choi Quinn.
What an exciting final there for that youth male black belt division. But we are not done. We are going to continue now with the male over 70 black belt final.
Yeah, this is a great division. We were able to see the female over 70 division yesterday, last night's episode. Today, the men. Russell Wood is going to start us off. Russell's from Australia. Welcome. He trains at Choreo Taekwondo.
Yeah, this is one of our most international divisions, actually. There are 3 competitors, and they're all 3 from different countries. I love the flags in the background. This is a hard form, right? Kumgang is hard for all ages.
Right. Got good speed on his turns. His slow motion movement, we look for 8 seconds. He's around 6, I think. Let's see if he can extend this one. So it must be very strategic. He's right around 6. He keeps his balance real well for that period of time, and probably just said, hey, if they're going to give me a hit for that, I'm okay with it. So he's a 5.57 for Kumgang. As you mentioned, boy, people have mixed feelings about Kumgang. Either they love it or they think it's a boogeyman or something. You never know. Oh, Tebek for their second form. Nice. So in this one, we'll be able to take a look at the front kicks and the side kicks.
Go!
Yeah, both even on the side kick. So the same height, same level of extension, showing that symmetry. He's got good powers. Every now and then he pivots on his heel, so he's going to need to watch that. But looking good here on Tebek. Good reach on the front kicks.
Yeah, that's all the way up to head level. That's a really nice opening bar and then finishing line for him.
Did it?
So we got a 5.57.
Okay.
Let's see if he can get a little higher on Tebek. And he does, 5.93. So Russell Wood from Australia finishing with a 5.75. Up next, we have Robert Poblin. Robert's from Amsterdam. So coming to us from the
Poomsae
Netherlands.
Championships.
He trains at American Fitness with his coach, Mike Tapia. So this is interesting because he put the recording device on the ground.
Right. So we're looking up at him. It's definitely going to make his kicks in Tebek look high. But it is just a little bit funny to be looking up so much. Also looks like maybe around 6 seconds on these crane stances.
Right, I'm counting them off too. Yeah, it looks like 6. So that's what Russell did.
Judges could be taking about a 1/10 there. It's 1/10 for every second. That's 1 second around. That's so it's okay if you do 7, 8, or 9. It's supposed to be 8 seconds. If you're 6 or 10, it's maybe 1/10 off.
Yeah,
But
these
he has
guys
a-
are
Bottom.
very consistent at 6 seconds for both of them.
Yeah. And good power on the hand technique, so it might just be strategic and a good score.
6.07. It's kind of like how deep do you want to go on the Hakdadi Sogi, right?
Mhm.
Athletes make a decision and then just stick with it. So see how Tebek does.
Poomsae Tebek. Sinchak.
So got a little heel pivot there too. We saw
Yeah,
Russell
little
had a
heel
couple of
pivot,
those.
yeah. Little heel pops. He's got some pre-movement on some of his footwork where he moves the front foot and then moves the back. He's out at about the same height that Robert was, but I think, same height as Russell was. But Russell was able to extend the kick out and hold it a little bit longer. So let's see how this plays out.
Right, Russell's combined score was a 5.75. Robert opened up with a 6.07,
Wow.
so he does have some space here if the
Right.
second score drops, but
Yes.
he does have that good hand technique power, so it'll be interesting to see what the judges think.
And he has really good posture too, 6.2. And I think that helps him, gives him a presence out there where he looks strong.
Mhm.
So he'll finish with a 6.135. Up next, we have Jim Harp. Jim is from Iowa. Jim trains and it helps everybody at the Academy of Martial Arts.
Right, and he's been a big proponent to have this division as well, so it's nice to see him competing here in the 70+ division. He also works a lot with the Midwest Taekwondo group, and he's put on an online tournament 2 years now, 2020, the first time, and just recently, a few weeks ago. So and that was all online video submission. He put together the referees. I actually refed for that tournament. So he's really helping push the Midwest to have great events like that, even during COVID.
Yeah, Jim's a really good musician. I remember talking about that, I think, during the summer of Poomsae, and I checked out his stuff online. He gets a 4.83. Maybe you can help me remember the name of his band. It has a really cool.
Oh man, let me look it up, because yeah, it's so cool. He plays a bunch of instruments and then puts it all together.
Good. So he's looking good on this form, a little bit more balance, and he's got good reach on his front kicks. Easy to keep those arms in close. On this side kick here, hopefully you can keep them controlled, contained.
I found it. It is on reverbnation.com, and you can look him up as Chicago Guy.
Yeah, very good. I knew it was something with Guy, something
Right.
super cool. Chicago Guy. That's Jim Harp, looking very good on Tibet. Actually a little stronger than his Kumgang, I think. So you got a 4.83 for the first one. And now look at that big jump, 5.4 for the second. So Jim Harp from Iowa finishing with a 5.115. So here are our standings in the over 70 male black belt division. Robert Povlin in first, Russell Wood in second, and James Harp in third.
We're now going to move into our para divisions, and we're going to start with the female junior para.
We have one athlete in this division. It's Catherine Baxter from Florida. She trains at United Martial Arts with her coach Maria Nelly Chassin and Daniel Osorio. Good power on the first line. Right, real strong spear hand and the punch. Probably the punch is probably her best technique, but that front kick went out there very fast. Actually, both of them did. Real quick front kicks. Looking good. Catherine Baxter with a big 7.7.
Yeah, she has really great intensity, good chamber on those front kicks. So I'm excited to see her second form here.
Well, and it's good that she's close to the camera, especially here now with Sipchin, because when athletes start back, especially on Sipchin, they just get back further and further, and it's just really hard to see the technique.
Mm-hmm.
But it really easy for us, the viewers, and also the referees. Good, able to stay nice and low on that transition. And when she throws a hand technique, it's really fast, but those front kicks, those are where she can really show her speed.
Yeah, she's looking really great. She has a good freeze too, right? She's showing us a good pause at the end of each technique. So I think she got the highest score we've seen all day here, a 7.7, and look at this.
And now at 7.64, coach has to be super happy. Maria Nelly Chassin and Daniel Osorio probably delighted with the 7.67. I'm saying those front kicks super quick. So she's going to take the division and all the points, which is actually going to be 50% of the points because of the size of the division. So she'll get 60 points for this event.
So we have 3 more para divisions, just 1 in each of the divisions, and we're going to do the female under 30 division now.
This is Morgan
준비.
Barber. Morgan is from Oregon. She trains at US World
시작.
Class Taekwondo with her coach, George Hiratescu.
So opening up here with choreo. Oh, good height on the front kicks.
Yeah, both about equal, both the right and the left, which is great. Good, knife and block right on the target, and then a nice smooth transition into the side kick. So
Yeah,
right
really-
after this punch, just going right into it.
Yeah, quick step, good tempo there.
And nice height on the side kick. I'm gonna say her side kick almost looks stronger than her front kicks because she has a really good aligned position on the side kick. Nice finish to it. Good, real deliberate ending. Nice line on the backside.
Yeah, really great last line there.
That's Morgan Barber from Oregon. Look at that. Wow.
Wow.
We have not seen an 8 in this episode, or maybe even, when was the last episode we even saw an 8? I can't even remember as far as.
Yeah, and a lot of that
시작.
is coming from her presentation, which is a 4.87. A lot of judges giving her a 5. So I think this deliberate attention to detail here, she was able to do on choreo. Now we're going to get to see Shipjin as the second form.
Yeah, no rushing at all. And see, she's got this smooth connection that everybody wants to have in Sipchin. So it's going to be here after she finishes those punches. She tends to go right into that for a few steps. She did that a little clearer on the left side, but it was also able to put those last 2 together very nicely. That 8.14, wow. Oh, nice and calm.
Yeah, you know, one thing that she's doing really great in Shipjin is that we want to have a good contrast between these slow 5-count motions and then having the techniques be really quick. And she's able to do that with the punches coming out really fast, right there into the stomp. And then we have this slow technique again. So that contrast is coming through really nicely.
Right, she's got that real quiet body on this. She doesn't have a lot of extra movement in any of the techniques. There's not any like reverberation or extra motion or extra steps. That's Morgan Barber. She got an 8.14. Amazing score for the first one. And now a little bit of a drop, 7.9. There were a couple moments in there where she didn't connect right away like she did in that first one. But look at that big score, 8.02. So Morgan's going to take it, and 60 points for her in this, was this under 30, right? Under 30 para division.
Now we're going to go to our female over 30 para black belt final.
We have one athlete in this division. It's Iris Fuentes from Florida. She trains at Beyond Martial Arts with her coach, Mr. Luther. Also getting choreo. which for many athletes, me included, it's a pretty challenging form, right, Miyako?
Yeah, definitely.
She has a nice steady rhythm moving through the technique.
Well, Iris is not new to competition. She competed at the World Para Taekwondo Championships in Turkey in 2019, where she got a silver medal.
Right, good volume, working on good volume on that last line.
준비. 자, 베이스만 챗.
Good, she gets a 5.54. I like her timing approach to Tebek. She's really making sure she's getting all the hand technique in. Right, see, so she's trying to get all of that volume in there, those big hand motions.
Right, and outside of Taekwondo, Iris likes learning about Greek mythology and says she has a collection of Xena the Warrior Princess artifacts. That's fun.
That's awesome. Zena's the best. Iris fences. Oh, nice. See, that volume, I think, is what really helped her score 6.07. Because Tebek has a lot of those opportunities to get that volume. So she gets a 5.805. And she takes first as well. So going to be taking 60 points into her standings.
And now our final division here for the para athletes, we're going to have the male junior black belt para division.
This is Sean Nichols. Sean is from Kentucky, and he trains at Legacy Taekwondo of Northern Kentucky with his coach, Susie Zhang. Starting off with Oh Zhang.
Well, so Sean is in the junior division, but for para, that's more ages than our other junior division. So he's actually 13 years old. And when he was just 8 months old, he was diagnosed with transverse myelitis, which is a spinal cord injury, which causes difficulty walking and a bunch of other painful things. So normally he's actually using a wheelchair, but one of his doctors and therapists suggested that he learned martial arts as a way to help improve his balance. And Taekwondo has really helped him physically, and he is able to compete here with his crutches and working through with leg braces as well.
Well, the highlight of his Poomsae so far on Oh Zhang is definitely his arm rotation. So he's got those back fists and middle blocks, and he really shows that off. So he does a really good job of balancing himself. He puts his weight right in the middle, bends his knees there, and that gives him a chance to really show off that hand technique. So you see that there on that freeze of that back fist. So Sean gets a 7.2. So he gives himself plenty of time to make the hand techniques crystal clear.
준비. 시작.
So as he's working through Iljung here, he looks like he's done this a million times. He's got the transitions very nice. He's able to manipulate, that balance work really nicely. Full extension on those arm techniques.
Yeah, this is really good. He, like you said, must have done this a ton of times because he knows exactly how to do these transitions.
Right, that weight shift looks really great. It gives him an opportunity to really throw that punch out as long as possible, as far as possible.
Chariot.
That's Sean Nichols. So he got a 7.2 in the first Poomsae, and now a 7.07 in the second. maybe it was a difficulty level of Ojang where they scored him higher. I'm not sure. I thought Yeljung looked really good. He got a 7.135 for his final score, and again, taking the division. So Miyako, that was our final division.
Oh man, it was our ending. Well, we hope you all enjoyed it and can't wait to see you in person.